Viewers, Amir Khan is not new to controversies, and this time, he seems to have found himself in a real position of trouble. 4 years ago, Amir Khan addressed the press with the studied deliberation, viewers, of the accomplished actor playing the part of the wronged. He delivered a crippling indictment of India. Amir Khan confessed that his family, to be precise, his wife, asked him if they should leave India. This correspondent, sitting right here before you, was personally vilified by the Lutyens left activists for suggesting that Amir was playing to the galleries. Today, viewers, all those, including this correspondent who thought that Amir was overplaying the Muslim card, stand vindicated. A surprise tweet from the wife of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has exposed Amir Khan's argument with intolerance as a totally hypocritical one. Amir Khan, who had a problem with what he insinuated is an India grip of a muscular Hindu nationalism, has been caught swooning over in those pictures that you can see over the first family of Turkey, the very epitome of intolerance. The Erdogans, it is alleged, have presided over the ethnic cleansing of Kurds, not to mention untold horrors inflicted upon Christian minorities like the Yazidis. They have allegedly jailed dissenting intellectuals, critical journalists and moderates. In the most recent example of Islamist intolerance, the Erdogan regime has allegedly supported the ISIS, viewers. The ISIS supported the ISIS and has decided to turn a former church, which was a museum, till just a few months ago, the Hagia Sophia, into a mosque. And this Turkish regime, led by Mr. Erdogan and ably supported by his wife, have gone to every forum around the world attacking India on its record in Kashmir. They have sided with Pakistan. They are in fact in an alliance now with Pakistan. They are in the same camp as China. And viewers, Amir Khan, who fears the rising tide of intolerance in India, has no problems cozying up to an Islamo-fascist authoritarian regime, wannabe caliph in Turkey, called Erdogan. Now, what does that say, viewers, about Amir Khan? Let's open this up without delay. I want to first bring in Abhijit Iyer Mitra. Mr. Mitra, what does this tell you? What does this tell you?
Rahul, thanks for having me on. I just want to show our viewers this picture. Her name was Hevrin Khalaf. She was a Kurdish counselor in the Kurdish part of Syria, North Syria. Miss Emine's husband, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, opened a massive military operation to give cover to the Al-Qaeda and ISIS elements that came in and killed this woman. She was an emancipated woman. Now let me read how she was killed by Recep Tayyip Erdogan's allies. According to the autopsy, Khalaf was beaten over the head, the left leg, and it left multiple bone fractures while she was alive. She was then stabbed several times with sharp objects, and she was dragged by her hair so badly that it caused parts of her flesh to tear off her scalp.
Oh, gosh.
This is the kind of sick, disgusting people that Recep Tayyip Erdogan supports. His own son-in-law and his daughter, born to this woman, are money laundering. There are lots of reports, intelligence reports, declassified intelligence reports, that they are money laundering for these kind of people. And this man, now he has every right to meet this lady. The issue here is he was morally giving moral, sanctimonious moral lectures to everybody else. And he's sitting and shaking hands with a woman whose husband and she herself and her entire family are in cahoots with these kind of people.
There you go.
This
It's
is
hypocrisy over intolerance. That's what this is coming down to, Abhijit Mitra Iyer, and that's why Abhijit Mitra Iyer gave us this preface into the kind of activities. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, what do you make of this? You know, you have been a very staunch advocate of free speech. You defended Amir Khan when he came out and he made that statement. I'm going to run it up. Actually, I'm going to play that. Let's listen to it first. Give me 30 seconds for our viewers to think about what he said in 2016. In the aftermath of a lynching, he came out, many intellectuals came out, returned their awards to the government saying, we don't want anything more to do with this saffron government, this Hindu nationalist sarkar that is promoting Hindu revivalism in this country. Intolerance is rampantly spreading across the country, he said about India. This is 2015, viewers. 2015. You're saying that you might be contemplating leaving this country because of intolerance. And who do you in 2020 sit in the lap of? You go and you meet the Erdogans. The very epitome, allegedly, of intolerance, Dr. Ranganathan. What does that tell you?
Yes, Rahul, maybe he was thinking of leaving India and going to Turkey and settling there. No, but to be honest, I think we might be looking too much into it. I mean, why? Why would a patriot and conscientious man like Amir Khan meet the partner in crime wife of a ruthlessly Islamist, bigoted, misogynist dictator like Erdogan? Unless, perhaps Amir wanted to implore Mrs. Erdogan to condemn the shameless anti-India stance of her husband, or to not support and side with India's enemies on Kashmir so as to make it a den for Islamic terrorism, or to not finance the anti-CA protests, to not make Turkey a haven for ISI, to not see himself as a modern-day caliph espousing religious supremacy, to come clean on his military and logistical support to the ISIS, to accept that his son-in-law was in cahoots with companies buying oil from ISIS, to not perpetrate large-scale violence and genocides on the Kurds, to stop refusing to accept that the Turks murdered 1.5 million Armenians from 1914 to 1917, to not support Islamist terror organizations like the Al-Qaeda, to not carry out ruthless purges, murders, kidnappings, imprisonment of 52,410 journalists, artists, intellectuals, politicians, lawyers in the last 3 years, to not siphon off public money amid recession, to construct a 1,000-room palace to live in, to reject his agreement and acceptance that homosexuality brings disease, to abrogate the constitutional amendment that gives him emergency powers, to impose hijab and alcohol-free zones, or, please give me 30 seconds, perhaps, instead, he congratulated Mrs. Erdogan for inaugurating the mosque built by demolishing the Hagia Sophia church, or for agreeing with her husband that, I quote, no Muslim family should consider birth control because we want to multiply our descendants, end quote. Perhaps Amir wanted to compare notes on religious supremacist views and tell her what he had said in 2010, and I quote, I faced no religious dilemma whatsoever while marrying Hindu women, but of course, I made it very clear that my kids will always follow only Islam, unquote. So yes, we might be looking too much into it. Let's wait for the justice and human rights loving, conscientious Amir clarify.
There you go. Dr. Hegde, Amir's secularism, perhaps just for the cameras. What's going on here?
I'm not a doctor.
Mr. Hegde.
Please, listen. Who told Amir that they wanted to live abroad? Her name is Kiran Rao. She has her own agency. She may be Amir Khan's wife, but she's Kiran Rao. Okay? Now there is point 2. You go to a country, you go to shoot. Let's assume Angelina Jolie comes to India to shoot. The Prime Minister asks her to come to tea. Would Ms. Jolie put her entire shooting into hazard by saying, no, I will not visit the Prime Minister?
No, he's the one who hang on. He sought an appointment. You got it wrong.
Let me put it straight.
He sought an appointment. It's not Mrs. Erdogan who called him up and said, Amir, we love you here. Come, have caviar on our balcony and look out onto the Bosphorus. I think you've got that completely wrong, the sequence.
No,
right? So he sought them out. One of the world's greatest Islamo-fascist authoritarian regimes. Mr. Amir Khan seeks them out, but he has a problem living in this country. And his wife has a problem living in this country. He feels intimidated and fear.
Kiran Rao asked Amir Khan should we continue?
Have
to
you
live
forgotten
here?
what Amir Khan says? No, one second. I think you've not heard the first part. He says.
To put things
No. He
Rahul,
says
one
yes.
very
There is
quick
a
question.
growing.
10 seconds.
Come on, sir. Come on, Mr. Hegde. He's been
Mr. Hegde.
exposed today. He's been exposed for being the poster boy of a fake narrative that people spawned to try and discredit this country and suggest that it will become some majoritarian hell.
Listen,
Come on.
I know of
Hindutva
enough
hell.
families who are.
Come on. I mean, today at least the good lawyer in you.
Can we
Maybe
get
I
a
should have
green
called you
card? Can we
doctor,
get a
spin
permanent
doctor.
residency?
Maybe the spin doctor in you now today should rest his case and say, okay, on the face of it, it does
Rahul,
look.
10 seconds.
Okay, yes,
10
Dr. Anand
seconds, Rahul.
Ranganathan.
Let me complete. I have not completed.
Okay,
I have
not completed. Okay.
I have not completed. And then we heard those references to Khilafat. Now, the first people who are against Khilafat are the Saudis themselves. It was the Arabs who rose against the Turks after the First World War who
What does that have
effectively
to do with
ended the
it?
Khilafat. Now, don't mix up everything. Not every viewer or every listener is entirely oblivious to history. The Erdogans are a nasty piece of work, but they are no more nasty than many of the dictators all over the world, whether it's an Orban.
Yeah, so should Mr. No, hang on. Should Mr. We get your point, sir. We get your point.
Wow.
Should Mr. Amir Khan, who holds himself up
Rahul.
to such high standards, be lowering his standards to meet the Erdogans? What's it in it for him? Yes, Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Yes, sorry, I didn't want to disturb you. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Make your point. Make your point.
Yeah, very quick question to my good friend, the lawyer, Mr. Hegde. Mr.
I'm not your
Hegde,
friend.
would you go and have tea with Eva Braun, the wife of Hitler?
Eva Braun married Hitler right at the end of their lives. Before that, if she called me for tea, I would.
Even if she was his girlfriend,
We've got a bit of a problem here.
Answer, for heaven's sake.
Listen, you can't.
Rahul, can I just
would
come
you
in
not
very
have
quickly?
Yes.
tea with Mumtaz Mahal? These are all lift my
Okay. There's no. Look. We understand the predicament you find yourself in tonight. We understand the predicament. I just hope, Mr. Hegde, that you don't borrow a leaf from Amir Khan's notebook and end up in North Korea to meet the other nasty piece of work, or the Turkish president, or then perhaps go back in time and meet Idi Amin also. I just hope that doesn't happen. Yes, Mr. Iyer, very quickly, you'll have the last word. I'm running out of time.
Here's the issue. There have been 3 James Bond movies also shot in Istanbul. From Russia with Love, The World Is Not Enough, and Skyfall. None of these actors, 2 of these were shot when Turkey was a dictatorship. None of them felt the need to go click photos with them. So this whole nonsense about jeopardizing your movie by not meeting the dictator's wife is just complete rubbish. The movies are shot every single
Look,
day.
viewers,
in Istanbul.
hypocrisy
There is no
comes in all
respect of
sizes. Hypocrisy comes in all sizes. And Amir Khan today is emblematic of a hypocrisy that came packaged in, I think it's 5'6" or 5'5" a few years ago. And today we've opened that bag and we've looked inside. And what we've seen, we don't like. Viewers, let's not pretend that this is not a problem. There are hypocrites amongst us, and they need to be called out because they have the power to influence public opinion, and they use it or misuse it irresponsibly sometimes. I hope Amir Khan tweets tonight and says he made a bit of a mistake. Certain others have, when it was pointed out to them that they made the error, the cardinal sin of meeting the Erdogans. Some very public figures internationally. Amir Khan, the ball's in your court. We leave it at that. Navika Kumar follows on the News Hour.